Hey, house guests! Welcome to today's Big Brother 26 updates and spoilers. Woo! Happy Monday. Hope you're all having a great day so far. Our house guest of the day is Linda Ford. Linda, thank you so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day like Linda, check out our Patreon link in the info box or the description below. I'm stuck in 2009. I was going to say 2009. Also, if you're still looking to get the live feeds this summer, we have a link in the description for Paramount Plus. And if you use our link, it helps us out. So we appreciate that as well. All right. So we have some things to discuss. It's been a weekend. When we left off the other day, they had just finished the POV competition. We were waiting for the results during the last live stream. So just to recap that competition, the players were Quinn's deepfake nominees, Tucker, Mackenzie, and Cedric. Angela, the actual HOH with no power this week. And then two extra players, Joseph and Brooklyn, who have now been chosen 3 times together to play in the POV, which is just insane to me. That's probably one of the things I'm the most shook about, that they've been chosen together 3 times now in 4 weeks. How? But anyway, Tucker was Quinn's target this week, but guess who won the power of veto? It was Tucker. You already know. And it was a mental competition. So he's just showing off. He is a very versatile competitor. He can win the physical competitions. He can win the mental competitions. So I think it had something to do with memory. I don't know exactly what it was, but he really he showed up for this one. So after the competition, Tucker is celebrating with Rubina in the storage room. She's so excited for him, but it's probably going to be bad news for her. I don't think she even realizes that yet. So then Tucker is alone and he's like, my effing back hurts from carrying the team, dog. I mean, he's been doing a good job of carrying a lot of the season. Him, Angela, Lisa, when she was here, they've been providing the entertainment for sure. Angela was also celebrating with Tucker at one point and telling him, I'm so proud of you. You should be proud of yourself. I'm sure he is. I don't think you need to tell him to be proud of himself, because I don't think there's anyone more proud of him than himself. All right. Meanwhile, Quinn is alone saying this blows ass. I mean, his 2 main targets this week, Angela and Tucker, they're both safe, right? One won HOH and one won the veto. So Quinn's deepfake HOH is not going to plan here. So eventually Quinn and Tucker chat, and they essentially have a game recognizes game conversation, a real recognizes real conversation. We've been talking about this a bit, how they have this rivalry, but they keep it light. They have fun with it. They put on a show. So Tucker tells Quinn, it is a pleasure playing this game with you. Would he still be saying this if he hadn't won the POV this week? I don't know. But he tells Quinn, you're a great sport. I really appreciate your sportsmanship. And Quinn is like, yeah, I really like that you keep things light. You make it easy to match the energy, right? They both have a lot of fun with it. I'm sure they're both thrilled too that they're getting all this camera time because of the rivalry. That's the tea. So then Brooklyn and Chelsea have a chat about this plan that they're coming up with. So they're wondering, would Tucker consider leaving the nominations the same, leaving himself up on the block, if he knew that Rubina would be going up as the replacement nominee? Because it's already been discussed that Rubina would likely be the replacement nominee this week if the veto is used. So they're thinking, oh my God, if he hears that his blossoming showmance is going to be the replacement, maybe he'll be like, no, I'm leaving the noms the same, and he's going to take his chance in the AI arena. And Chelsea's like, I think we should get Chemo to be the one to tell Tucker about Rubina going up, so then it's less blowback on us. Chelsea and Brooklyn together, I'm not feeling it. But they have gotten very, very close. Chelsea also brings up, this plan might not work, because even if Tucker did leave the nominations the same, there's a very high chance that he's still going to win the AI arena comp and he's going to be safe. So we're still screwed, right? We're still not getting our target out. But it is a plan that they are considering. So then T-Core and Chemo are chatting, and they're getting nervous. Now, Quinn is the deepfake HOH this week, and they are super close with Quinn. They're in the Visionaries alliance with Quinn. And they know that Quinn's going to keep them off the block, right? It's not like he's going to put them up. But they do not want Rubina going up because they are so close with Rubina. They don't want to be losing her this early. But also, like they've mentioned a bunch of times, we've warned her about getting into the showmance with Tucker, about getting close to him when he has such a huge target on him. And it seems like she just went for it anyway. But they really don't want to be in a situation this week where they have to choose between Cedric and Rubina because they are technically aligned with Cedric in the collective alliance. Do they feel as loyal to that alliance? No. But also, they don't want to have to go against that group this early on. So that would only be the case, Cedric versus Rubina, if Mackenzie were to win the AI competition, which she definitely has a really good shot. She's a great competitor. But the bottom line is T-Core and Chemo want to make sure that they're on the right side of the vote this week. They do not want to be left out. So they're hoping their ideal situation would be for Mackenzie to lose the AI comp so that they can just vote her out, right? So they're getting out someone who they're not aligned with, really, and they don't have to choose between two allies. So T-Core brings up, it was really stupid for Cedric to volunteer to go up on the block this week. He is not winning competitions the way Cedric is, right? Or sorry, the way Tucker is. Tucker can do stupid stuff like that and volunteer to go up on the block because he can back it up with the comp wins. True, but like also don't do that anymore because it's only going to work so many times. So, he can kind of get away with it, but people who are not bringing in the comp wins, not so much. So T-Core and Chemo want to talk to Quinn, see what he's thinking about this renom situation. They want to talk to Chelsea because she always seems to be in the know. Just find out like what's going on here. So T-Core chats with Chelsea. These two are also very close. And T-Core is wondering, can we convince Quinn to put up Leah as the replacement nominee instead of Rubina? So Chelsea's like, no way. I don't see that happening. She says Quinn is in love with Leah. There's no way he's going to put her on the block. And I have to agree. He did his little like test of Leah this week to see if she is more loyal to him or Mackenzie, and she failed because he asked her, do you think Mackenzie is coming after me? And she was like, no, but Mackenzie thinks that you're coming after her. So he wasn't happy with that answer, but still, he's not looking to target Leah anytime soon. He still wants to work with her moving forward. So that's kind of a flop situation. But Rubina joins the conversation, and Chelsea is talking about how she wants Mackenzie and Leah out next. What a surprise. She's been crabbing about Leah this whole entire time, and Mackenzie is now a part of that as well. So Chelsea feels like those two have been following her around since her HOH week, and it's really bothering her. She said the other day she just wants to fart in peace. She can't just like blast off and then risk Mackenzie or Leah walking in and smelling nuts. I can't. But she also feels like Mackenzie is trying to get an alliance together. Sorry, my brother's like yelling. She also thinks that Mackenzie is trying to get an alliance together with all the guys. Of course, Chelsea would be thinking about this and upset about this. Because we already know that Chelsea is jealous that Leah is like all over Cam, and Cam seems to be into her, even though Leah isn't into him. And it's like a whole thing, but whatever. So, of course, Chelsea would love to see Leah or Mackenzie on the block, but she doesn't feel like it's going to happen. Okay, so then Joseph and Tucker have a check-in, and they are celebrating Tucker's win. Joseph's like, I'm so excited for you, blah, 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 blah. Joseph is interesting because it seems like he wants to work with Tucker, but then he like talks a lot of trash about Tucker to keep it on the down low. I need to see some more diary room sessions from Joseph to find out where he actually stands. I feel like at this point, he's just trying to play the middle and, see what he can come up with on either side. So yeah, Joseph and Tucker are hanging out, and Joseph spills that after the POV competition, Cam was like, well, we'll get him next week. about Tucker, right? Meaning Cam wants Tucker out. So this is a lot for Joseph to spill this to Tucker like this. So Tucker's like, yeah, I noticed Cam wasn't pumped at all when I won the power veto. He's been really trying to pay attention to people's reactions after he wins competitions. We've seen it already. And Tucker says, I'm targeting Cam hard now. I want to win this HOH. I want to put Cam up on the block. He would love to nominate Cam with Quinn and then either Cedric or Leah next to them. Ooh, that would be wild. That would be very interesting. So, yeah, Tucker brings up that Brooklyn was also pissed when he won, and he spills some info to Joseph. He tells Joseph about the 5 Points alliance with Rubina, T-Core, Chemo, and Brooklyn. And he's like, I know that Brooklyn's not about that alliance. It's not real for her. I mean, he's not wrong. Because we saw when that alliance was formed, Brooklyn immediately spilled to Chelsea about it. So that's what's up. Joseph says, this is so great. Like, no one's going to realize that you and I are working together and we're going to turn this house upside down. And he says, it can be me, you, T-Core, Chemo, and Angela. Honestly, I kind of love that group. It's a really fun group. Interesting mix of people. I mean, I'm all for it. Let's see it. Joseph says he's just so happy that he teamed up with one of the biggest comp beasts of the season. I'm sure you are. All right. So after Joseph chats with Quinn, one of his other final twos. I mean, he must have had a list of things to do that day. He's just like, talk to all my final twos. Because he went from one to the other. So he's chatting about, or they're chatting about the plan to have Chemo tell Tucker that Rubina's going to go up on the block if Tucker uses the veto. So Quinn is like, I think it could work. Maybe Tucker will stay up on the block. And Joseph is like, no. I don't think so. Tucker is not stupid. Plus, he'd probably just win the AI competition anyway. So who cares? So Quinn says, you know what? I'm just going to ask Tucker straight up if he's going to use the veto on himself. And he's thinking about saying something along the lines of, hey, so you're probably the only person in this house that I would have to ask, but are you going to use the veto on yourself? I mean, let's be honest, though. It is a question mark with Tucker. It's not just assumed that he's going to use it on himself. So then Quinn also brings up how he really wants to win this next HOH. And he's saying if it's the slip and slide comp, he says, hand to God, I'm not a religious man, but I'm pulling in religion. He says, I will win. And Joseph immediately says, no, you won't. Damn. He says, you are 5'6", and a tall person usually wins the slip and slide competition. Oh, the phone. Okay. So he's telling Quinn, I don't think so. You're not winning this. And honestly, Joseph is like mostly right. It is usually a taller person, but I wouldn't be surprised if Quinn was able to pull that one out because he is a soccer player. He runs track. So he's going to have like the endurance for it. But if there is someone else who's taller that also has that level of endurance, it's probably not going to be Quinn. All right. But anyway, it was hilarious how quickly Joseph shut him down on that. So later, T-Core and Rubina are chatting about the renom situation. And I don't think Rubina understood the level of danger that she was in here. I mean, I think she had some idea like, oh my God, it might be me. But T-Core clues Rubina in like, you're in trouble. You're in a lot of trouble here. She's breaking it down for Rubina. Quinn's target was Tucker. But now he can't get him because Tucker won the veto. So he's going to put up the closest person to Tucker as the replacement nominee. And Rubina's like, oh, so like me? And she's like, I feel like I'm going to puke. Okay, but is she going to do anything to try and prevent this? Is she going to talk to Quinn? Is she going to try and make any deals? Doesn't seem like it. I don't know how much she knew about this game going in, but she seems way more concerned about this whole showmance with Tucker. She thinks that she would be safe on the block next to Mackenzie if Cedric were to win the AI competition, but she's definitely not sure what would happen if she's up against Cedric. Yeah, I feel like it probably wouldn't be good for her. So Then we have Quinn, Cam, and Joseph chatting. And Quinn is pretty much set on putting Rubina up as the replacement nominee. But he's trying to figure out, what reason am I going to give to Rubina for her going up? He wants to talk to her before the ceremony so that this is not like a blindside situation. Maybe he can try and save face a little bit. Because he would rather see Mackenzie leave. He thinks that she's a stronger competitor. He thinks he can possibly work with Rubina once Tucker is eventually gone. So he doesn't necessarily want Rubina to go. But he's thinking about telling Rubina, you are Tucker's closest ally, and I don't want to make anyone else upset with me. Tucker's already mad at me anyway, so maybe I should just continue down this road. And he says he wants to say, like, if you had to choose between me and Tucker, I would never expect you to pick me over him, right? You guys like have a showmance basically. So he's going to tell Rubina, I'm basically putting you on the block as a placeholder. I don't want you to go. He was also considering promising Rubina his vote to stay. Because again, Quinn, as the deep fake HOH, still has his vote this week, which is wild to me. But we didn't get to hear more of that. The feed switched. Great. All right. So then the Visionaries had a meeting late Saturday night, and Quinn was talking about how they're at the bottom of the collective alliance. This is something they've pretty much realized for a while now. They don't feel super connected to that group. I mean, Quinn at least is a part of the Pentagon, so he's closer to most of those people. But like Chemo and T-Core, they're like, our group pretty much never meets. We don't really talk about things together. So is this even like worth it for us? They know they're at the bottom. They know about the Pentagon Alliance. So Quinn says we're going to have to ditch them at some point. But he does not want to do that until after Tucker is gone, because Tucker is too much of a wild card, right? And they don't need him in the mix when they're trying to turn on the collective. But he says when the time does come, he wants to mount an attack on the other part, the other people in the collective. And he says our soldiers would potentially be Joseph, because he's an opportunist. And Quinn feels like Joseph would be willing to join them if he realized it could benefit his game, which I would agree with. I mean, Joseph is so like gung-ho right now about the collective, and he like considers himself the leader of the group. But I think if he realized it would be better for him to ditch them, he would do it. Quinn would love to bring Leah in. He referenced how last season the Mafia Alliance of Matt and Jag scooped up Bowie Jane. Gotta get those numbers in there. I'm just thinking about that Bowie Jane quote from the finale now about like how being in the Mafia changed their lives, or I don't know, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. It was very cringe. Also, Rubina. Quinn feels like he can work with Rubina once Tucker is gone. Is she going to want to work with you after that? I don't know. Also, are you going to get Tucker out? That's also a question mark. So good luck with all that. But Quinn says he cannot work with Angela because he can't trust her with information. I mean, look what happened. She spilled about his secret power. Also, he can't risk Angela calling him out again because she could do that at the drop of a hat. So then Chemo and T-Core chatted alone after this, and they're really still hoping that they can convince Tucker and Quinn to work together. I mean, that would definitely be entertaining, but I just don't see it happening. I don't see those two trusting each other. I mean, that would really be something for them to start working together. But that was all Saturday. Now let's talk about Sunday. Tucker was talking to Mackenzie, and he's floating around the idea of using the veto on her instead of himself. And this would be so that he can compete against Cedric in the AI competition, just like he said he would do last week. But don't get all nervous yet. He was planning on using the POV on himself. Like, this is something he discussed the night before with Angela. I think he said it to somebody else too, but he told Angela about it. This was part of some plan where he wants to put this out there so it'll eventually get back to Quinn, and Quinn would put up someone other than Rubina as the replacement nominee. So you may be wondering why, how would this even work? Wouldn't Quinn just switch back to Rubina as his replacement nominee when Tucker uses the veto on himself? The way that this works, because of the deepfake HOH, Quinn has to submit who his replacement nominee is going to be before the POV ceremony. So he could put in like, I'm going to put Cam because he thinks that Tucker's going to stay up there and he wants somebody to go up against him. But then like Tucker could pull the old switcheroo. So it's interesting how that would work. But anyway, Quinn and Rubina finally chat, and Quinn lets her know she is going to be going up on the block. And she's upset, of course, and she's asking, "Is there anyone else that you would consider putting up?" And he's like, "Well, there's not really an obvious reason to put anyone else up." And he explains she's going up because of her proximity to Tucker. I mean, this is what T-Core and Chemo have been warning Rubina about for a while now. So Quinn is apologizing to Rubina, saying he wishes things were different. So after that, Rubina is hyping herself up and she's like, I'm not going to be scared. This is my chance to prove myself. Of course, she wants to win the AI competition. That is her main goal here. But she says, if not, she would rather be up against Mackenzie than Cedric. Yeah. I mean, she definitely has a much better chance of staying against Mackenzie than she would against Cedric. So then a little later, Quinn chats with Tucker, and Quinn is asking Tucker, so are you going to use the veto on yourself? I know you really like the AI arena. We can't really just assume that you're going to save yourself. So Tucker's like, well, I still want to knock Cedric out of this game, and I want to finish what I started. So he's basically implying that he's going to leave the nominations the same, or at least not use it on himself. So he says, everyone's already after me anyway. I may as well play some games. I like playing the games. So I'm pretty sure at this point still, like, Tucker is just messing with Quinn and everybody, trying to make them think he's not going to use the veto. So then Quinn reports this conversation back to Cedric and Brooklyn, and they're all freaking giddy at the idea of Tucker leaving the nominations the same. He's messing with you. So then Tucker is chatting with Cam, and this conversation was interesting. Tucker is talking about all the snakes in the house and phone again. He knows that I'm losing my mind. He knows that they would have voted him out if he was still up on the block last week. So then Tucker is telling Cam, like, look, somebody in your group is leaking stuff. They're telling me things that you guys are all saying. He's basically letting Cam know, I got your number. I know that you want me out of here. So Tucker actually invites Cam to come work with him. He's like, I'm a lone wolf right now. If you want to join my crew, like, that's great. He accuses Cam of having an alliance with Quinn, Joseph, and Leah, which is not a thing as far as I know. But Cam denies it because, again, it's not a thing. But Tucker seems pretty convinced that that is an alliance that's working together. So in this conversation, Tucker is still acting like he might use the veto on Mackenzie just to mess with Quinn's plans. Later, Tucker's chatting with Rubina, and he's saying he wants to win this HOH next week, put up Quinn with Leah, the love of Quinn's life, who doesn't give an F about him, and basically give him a taste of his own medicine. Damn. Okay, so then in other news, Big Brother gave the house guests booze, cake mix, party supplies, all to celebrate Angela's birthday, which is exciting, but her birthday isn't until August 17th. Oops. Did they have to? I don't know. Did they give the stuff back? I have no idea. I'm sure they got to keep the alcohol, or at least I hope so. That'd be so sad if they were like, give it all back. But anyway, I hope we do get to see Angela's birthday next week. I hope she'd still be here for it, because even if she's evicted next week, we would still get to see her birthday. So hopefully she'll stay around, and we'll have a good time. Okay. Later, Tucker and Angela have a chat, and they agree they have each other's backs 100%. They're not putting a name on this alliance or anything yet, but they agree they're looking out for each other. And honestly, this is the duo that we didn't even know that we needed. It's so chaotic. It's so fun to watch. We'll see how it goes. Tucker also confirms to Angela that he will be using the veto on himself. He's like, yeah, I've done some crazy stuff so far and it's worked, but he says lightning does not strike twice in the same spot. So he's not going to risk it here, and I think that's a smart move. He feels like the vote would flip on him if he stayed on the block. Correct. So then, just some random fun facts that we learned over the weekend. This was already speculated about, but we got some confirmation. Tucker is friends with Cody Calafiore in real life. Okay, but this is more fun. Chelsea is Niecy Nash's niece. Niecy Nash's niece. That's so fun. I love Niecy Nash, and she's had such a fun career. But also like Chelsea could totally be on Claim to Fame, which is also on right now. That's fun. But yeah, that's an interesting little tidbit. So then today they had the POV ceremony, and Tucker basically blindsided a bunch of the house by using the veto on himself, because they were expecting him to either leave the nominations the same or use the veto on Mackenzie. So there were definitely some disappointed members of the Pentagon, the collective. But yeah, Tucker's off the block. Quinn put Rubina up in his place. So we've got Rubina versus Mackenzie versus Cedric. And one of them will still come off the block with the AI competition. So we don't know yet who the vote is going to come down to on Thursday. But the way that it's looking right now, even if Cedric is on the block on Thursday, he should be safe. It would be either Rubina or Mackenzie leaving. And I don't know if it's Rubina versus Mackenzie. I know Chelsea was saying she wanted Rubina out because she was like, if we're going to go after Tucker, why not take away his number one? But then Quinn was like, I don't know about that, because no, he did bring up, if we take out Rubina, T-Core and Chemo are going to be very upset, and they're going to feel like they are not part of the decision-making process in this group. So I think it would be Mackenzie, but who knows at this point. All right, so let's see what's going on here. Why is somebody causing issues in this chat? I don't know what was going on in here, but to everyone who's being nice today, thank you so much. Let's see. I want to thank all of our super chatters as well. Mary Ellen L, thank you so much as always. Really appreciate it. Benjamin, thank you so much for the super chat. Benjamin says, if Takemo, I like that, Takemo, can't step up and take Cedric out, I'm worried. I can see the Pentagon steamrolling with Cam popping out and winning. If you know you're at the bottom, you need to take shots when you can. That is absolutely true. I feel like they're just too nervous. Like, they're so nervous about making the move this early. But I feel like if they really locked things in with Tucker, they would probably feel better about it. But I just don't know that they would flip this early. I think they're too scared. But you never know. It's possible. And I would just be so sad if it was a Pentagon steamroll this season, because that would be so freaking boring. And they just seem kind of like a bland ass alliance, which is no fun. Nanita Madrano, thank you so much. And this is Nanita's 10th super on a live stream. Woo! And she says, Team Tucker, Team Tubina. Yeah, I mean, Tucker's been very entertaining. This showmance, though, I will admit, is kind of draining so far. It was fun for like 5 minutes, but now that Rubina is constantly having conversations about it and being like, should I even be doing this? Like, blah, blah, blah. What does this look mean? Like, it's just too much. So I'd be fine with them just cooling off and waiting until after the show. Sean Davis, thank you so much for the super chat. Sean says, on Thursday, Leah was dressed like Barbie from Toy Story 3. Yeah, I feel like she was trying to do something with that outfit. But yes, now that you mention it, that did look like Barbie's outfit from Toy Story. And Sean also says, Quinn does too much that it's starting to be cringe. It is definitely cringe levels from Quinn right now. I mentioned this in today's episode recap. I would love to just see him be himself, because I feel like right now he's just copying things that other people have done on the show. And I think he has the potential to be a really exciting and fun player, but he's just so focused on like doing what other people have done. And I wish he would just do his own stuff. Indie Girl, thank you so much. Game over. Oh no. Thank you for the super chat. Shane Wright, thank you so much for your super chat. Raven Picks, thank you so much. And Raven asks, who will go first, Angela or Quinn? That's a very good question. Honestly, it might be Quinn. I could see Angela sticking around for a while. She is making some friends right now, and she's won more competitions than Quinn has, right? But I also think that people are just going to see Quinn as a bigger threat. So we'll see what happens. Gabe L, thank you so much for the super chat. Gabe says, Tucker is too cocky, but love his competitiveness. I like Quinn, and I'm actually really enjoying Brooklyn too, which I didn't expect. I'm over Angela's crocodile tears. Team Tuckin, Quinn and Tucker. There's a lot of good stuff in this. Thank you, Gabe. And this is Gabe's 10th Super on a live stream. Woo! I do think that Tucker is super cocky, but I also think part of that is just him putting on a show. Let's see. You're enjoying Brooklyn. I was enjoying Brooklyn at first, but I just can't with her and Chelsea together. I don't like the way that's shaping up. I think those two. I'm just not into the Pentagon Alliance anymore. I can't do it. And I feel like Brooklyn's facade is kind of starting to crack, and I feel like she can be kind of nasty. I don't know. Angela's crocodile tears. I think sometimes they're kind of funny. And then your team, Quinn and Tucker. I feel like it'd be really interesting to see the two of them work together, but I don't know if it's ever going to happen. But even the two of them in there separately is a lot of fun. So thank you all so much for watching. We will be back tomorrow. It's going to be a busy Big Brother week because we've got 3 episodes to talk about. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So thanks, everybody. Hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow. And until then, much love. Bye, everybody.